Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're here. Just making this video about the COD World League announcement. There's a few debates on Twitter at the moment. As people probably seen, Bundo's doing a stream at the moment. Thought I'd add my 2 cents. So about the shitty webcam quality and all that. And if I got a blocked nose, I'm a bit sick at the moment. But I just want to make a video because I feel like venting. As people who know me, hope explaining. I'll probably ramble on and dribble a bit of shit at the moment. But if you're interested in my thoughts, then continue on. Um, so obviously with the announcement this morning, it looks pretty good for the COD World League. Obviously it's like all those NA and top EU teams are probably happy with what they have been given. It's definitely a step up from last year. And you'd be excited for that. With here in Australia, obviously if you're the team that pinches the ticket for the season 1 spot, you're going to be happy with that too. But the rest of our scene, it's not so great. From what we had last year, it's obviously a little bit of a step up. I mean, we've got no lands announced yet, but I mean, last year we had no lands announced till later on. But so far all we've been told is we got like obviously the one team going into season 1, and then we got these 4 league type things or whatever it is for $1,000 each. Apparently, its winner takes the 1,000, so you get $250 each for winning our COD World League thingy, and then you get a flight and accommodation, all that shit paid for to the next MLG event, which I think is superb. Obviously, it's going to help whoever goes over, but where is the stuff for our scene? How the hell do we get better? How does our scene grow? Um, it's like we don't have the infrastructure or anything here to improve. Like, obviously, MF have done well without all that stuff, but obviously, I don't know, I wouldn't say they're a rare breed, but they've been teaming for so long, and obviously those players are so freaking good. They don't need that. But at the same time, I definitely think that their results overseas haven't been anything to gloat about, but they've definitely shown that they can hang. And I definitely think if they had the infrastructure over here to improve and get better, then they would. So going to their whole thing about T1 Dotters placing well back in Ghost, and we can't do it now. Like they didn't have the infrastructure and the tools provided to do well. Well, back then neither did Europe. Everyone was an even page, probably besides NA. Us in Europe were like our own events. Obviously they had a lot more teams, and they could play more, but for the most part we had our own events. We had our own little scene, and we just stuck with what that was and went for it at the time. We were happy with that. Obviously T1 got fifth that event, but everyone was on the same page. Like with Europe, like they were like, they were nowhere near as good as they are now. And then with Black Ops 3 coming around, obviously every scene got juiced. We got juiced here, but we didn't take advantage of it. But even in that year, those guys over there in Europe got given salaries to play full time, or most of them did, or at least a lot more than they would. And majority of them went to every single event overseas. Like they went to every single MLG event. So you picture this: if you're a player, you imagine going to every single MLG event and learn from it every single time. You're obviously going to get a lot better as time goes on. But then in Australia here, we didn't get to travel to any overseas events until COD Champs came around, and obviously all 3 of our teams, no, 4 of our teams, sorry, flunked it. None of us made it out of groups, but like I said again, Europe and NA, that COD Champs event, they've done that the whole year. They lived that frigging competition. They played against each other, improved off each other the whole entire year, and we didn't get shit. We didn't get none of that. Obviously, we got a league here, which I think improved our teams. I definitely think in our region, our players and teams got a bit better with structure and how to play the game a bit more. But I definitely think that we didn't get the opportunity to play the game full time, and I definitely think that if we had another year of that same kind of method, we would have kept growing, and we probably would be at the stage Europe's at now, or NA, like, or maybe even closer to it. But we definitely would have been getting better, but we haven't got that. And with this announcement this morning, if you're not in a top 3 or 4 team and you're looking to make it overseas, or like looking to compete in this COD World League, what is it for you? I got Halo players in Australia who want to convert to COD because Call of Duty's got all the support and shit, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them aren't going to do it now. Like, what do they have to play for? Like, last year there wasn't many opportunities to do much, but some of them were interested, but the game was shit. But this year we will have a good COD and no good competitions really. Like, where's the infrastructure for us? We get the exact same treatment as all these other countries. I haven't really read the list properly, but I think it's like France, maybe. I don't know, all these other European countries where They get $1,000 per season, top 8 teams, and one team goes to MLG. No offense, but I think APAC is a lot better than any of those teams. I think that like if you had to put it on a pedestal, like you got NA and EU together, but I definitely think that our top teams can definitely come close to getting with the top, say, EU teams. Like maybe like Splice and that, obviously they're like maybe a bit ahead, but I definitely think that it could be a good series. It's definitely not going to be a blowout. Like obviously with the whole Elevate thing with us at Champs, but like they were regarded as like a top 5, top 6 EU team. We were top 3 um, AU team, and we ended up beating them, obviously with that forfeit shit, whatever. But regardless, like we were up 2-1 in the series anyway, and we definitely looked like to be the more prominent team. And then you look at TM, they pushed Fnatic to game 5 and they choked. But like we've shown that we can compete and hang with these guys, but we don't give them the tools to grab it and go further. What do we have? Like what do I do for this year? Like if like say don't make season 1 and then we play these events for this $1,000 and you win and you go to MLG event, yeah, you're probably gonna get better from that. But where does our scene grow? How does it grow? Obviously, people are saying make content, just show that you deserve the funding. But I don't know if I'm speaking out of my ass here, but like look at like France or whatever it is, like Gutaga's region, like those guys have a shitload of content. You look at ESWC, the crowds that they pull for their events are huge, but you don't see them getting gifted all the shit. Content isn't everything. I know it helps, but I'm sure that if I pumped out content out of my bum and MF pumped out content, I don't think we'd have anything going right now either. I think if we place well, we would, but we need to be given the tools to place well. It's as simple as that. You play more COD, you get better. Your team gets better because you're better. Teams you verse get better because you're better. Obviously, like people know, like you play a better team or a better player, and you learn from it. You might get smashed or whatever, but you learn from that. So you think about it. If everyone in our team was playing more COD, playing a bit more full time, or playing a lot more in general, the reason we'd be getting better in general, which means everyone gets better. The teams get better. You play more, you get better. Teams get better. They go overseas. You could potentially place better. It's like a ripple effect. But at the moment, we're not given the tools to do it, and it's like it just blows my mind, man. Like obviously, I'm still happy with the year because I definitely think that it's like I think that I'm gonna be in for a good year. I'm happy with it. Like obviously, if you make it over to those MLG events, that's friggin' sick. But it's still like unless they announce some more events for our region, it's like what the hell do we have? It's just crap, bro. Like, look at the OPL and League of Legends. They get given this season 1 and season 2 of like these big games over the week and weekends and shit. And look how much better their region's got. Like, Chiefs were the top team, and now Direwolves have taken over and started dominating. And it's like, they're playing at a full time standard. They're playing as professionals. We're not in our scene. If you're a professional player in any sport, you are putting your focus on that. At the moment, me, I cannot focus on COD. Cannot. Players around me in my team and that, we cannot focus on COD, but in Europe, their focus is COD. In NA, their focus is COD. We don't have that focus of COD here because we don't get the opportunity to do that. It's like they expect us to go and work full time and provide an income for ourselves, go to uni and do all that shit, play COD on, a pretty serious hobby style, but then they expect us to rock up to these international events and compete with players who are on salaries and play this game from the moment they go to bed. I mean, wake up to the moment they go to bed. Like, how does that work? You think about all these other sports, like, I don't know, imagine golf, for example. You got a guy who, I don't know, goes and plays golf every day throughout the week or every second day throughout the week. He might stay out on a course for, I don't know, a couple of hours and then he might go practice his shots after that. And he might watch some videos. And then you got the old average guy named Joe who might go to work and then he might go to the driving range after. Obviously, people who get the infrastructure and chances to perform better and practice more are going to do better than the guy who doesn't get shit. Obviously, I'm not saying we don't get shit because I think we're still in for a decent year, but for our region in general, it's not. I think that it's definitely an investment. I know that it's not a lot of people don't want to, but if like orgs invested into teams and paid them salaries in our scene, and we were all playing at more of a not a full time rate, but at least most of the top teams were playing more at a serious, close to full time rate. You know, you invest in that team and they get better, and then the players get better, and then they make better results overseas. Simple as that. like an investment. You invest in the team to perform better, and you give them the opportunity to perform better and get better, and they could potentially do better. If not, they'll probably learn from the events that they go to and then go from there. This has been a rant, 10 minutes, and it feels like it's been about 2 minutes in my life because I talk a lot of shit. But sorry, if I came across blunt or rude or whatever. Um, Obviously, would recommend players trying to jump over to COD if you are thinking about it, because there should be some events announced. But I don't know. It's gonna be a good year anyway. Got a good Call of Duty for once. Obviously, Jetpacks a lot of people aren't a fan of, but we've got a good Call of Duty to play, so it's gonna be fun regardless. Competing is good. But if anyone from the COD World League happens to be watching this, you can't expect us to perform and do well if you don't give us the tools to do so. So it's as simple as that. But cheers. Peace out.